In a land where cacti outnumber cell towers and the horizon stretches further than a fiber optic cable, it's time for Valley's Bits, Bytes and Banter, the podcast that looks a bit behind the scenes of a broadband provider, takes a big bite out of the tech world, and serves up a healthy dose of banter with people in our community. And now, without further ado, here's your host, Bob Dahlstrom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the holiday special episode of Bits, Bytes, and Banter. I'm your host, Bob Dahlstrom, along with my partner in crime, Ralph Score.
Yeah, that's right.
Here we are, and we're excited about today's episode because it is one of our episodes. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and thanks for listening and downloading our podcast and this episode and other episodes as well. And Podbean is where we host them. Yep. And you go there and search Valley's Bits. That's the easiest way to find it. Yep. Valley_S Bits. You can also find us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, wherever else you want to get your podcasts.
YouTube.
Yeah, on our YouTube channel,
yep.
vtc.net/blog.
Yep.
And check them all out. We've had great guests. And today is no exception.
I'm
We're
actually bringing
excited about this
now, yeah. So they're part of this. And I was thinking about what we would call the show. I was going to be either like you rule the rule or something like that. Or you rule the Yule. That's
you rule the Yule.
Or you'll rue the Yule. One of the two. So,
ladies and gentlemen, our guests today are Valley employees and big-time film buffs, and this is going to come into play today as well. We have Josh Encinas. Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Glad to have you here. And Jacob Encinas. Jacob, how's it going?
I'm doing good.
Good. Glad to have you guys.
I kept calling you guys like the Brothers Grimm, because they look really, really grim.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't have video today.
Your mic sounds a little hot.
A little hot. My mic sounds hot?
Your mic sounds hot to me. I don't know if it does to you guys, but it does to me. Almost like...
Let's try that.
Yeah.
That sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it sounded almost like you were overmodulated.
Oh.
Yeah. But it could just be me. Because I'm so ramped up and excited about today's.
That's right.
And we said it's a special holiday edition because everything we talk about today is somehow related to the holidays.
Yes, even Die Hard.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get us started.
We're jumping in with that both feet already. Ralph just pulls the pin and runs on that one right there. We'll come back around to that for sure, guys.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fun topic to talk about. But yeah, like we said, everything's going to be holiday related. We want to talk a little bit about some of the tech gifts, I guess you could say. It could be for the holidays, could be any time of year.
Yeah.
Some of the latest and greatest tech stuff that we brought to the table.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Maybe music if we get time.
Yeah. And one thing, like, we're not just film buffs, we're also both IT guys, so we know a lot about the tech stuff, and so we have a few opinions and some information that we'll be glad to share.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to make. And you guys have been a part, and we're trying to get you guys involved too, more and more, because we talked about at our podcast recordings we did with Lee Patterson and Reed Richens that you guys were there. You guys came along and helped us out and shadowed us and see how things work, because you guys are very interested in getting involved in this side because you guys do have that expertise.
Yeah, Jacob won Best Actor at the EAC Film Awards.
Best Actor, Best Screenplay, and then Best Overall Film at the EAC Film Festival.
Oh, that's awesome.
When was this?
Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, so it was my senior year of high school.
And you may not know this, but I'm on the advisory committee for Glenn Cachetta's program up there at EAC.
Oh, really? Yeah. I ended up winning a scholarship to go to EAC for film, but I ended up going into IT, and now I'm here.
I did not know that part. That's awesome.
And I don't know if you know or not, but their program is directly linked to ASU's Bachelor of Fine Arts Film program, which is linked in with all the studios in LA too. So if you ever really want to go that route, and they've got a $50 million facility they just opened up there, which is pretty cool. Yeah,
that's so cool.
We're going to film our own Die Hard related movie for the holidays.
We could
Bob
Bob
is the main character.
We're gonna have Bob crawling through the vents,
and that's all I do. Is I just crawl through the vents.
It stars a car battery from Sears.
Let's get together, have a few laughs. Someone's gonna crawl through the vents.
Bob with a Zippo lighter.
Yeah, every now and then you see looking around. Where am I? Where am I? That'll be the thing. It'd be like one of my favorite characters from the show Scrubs. I used to love watching that show. It was one of my favorite shows. And they had, I think his name was Tommy, the football Alzheimer tackling patient. And all he would do was fly through the halls and tackle everybody, yell, "Where am I?" And he'd tackle everybody. It was just so that's gonna be me,
there was no
but
bad
crawling.
people in this Die Hard movie. Bob's just going around tackling people.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. I just fall out of the event or jump out of the, just spring
Where
out of the
am
event. Yeah, where am I? And tackle everybody. That's what I'm going to do.
His
Spoiler
greatest
alert.
weapon is a dried out Christmas tree.
That's right. And his lighter.
I think
his
it's the
lighter.
Christmas tree from the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Yeah, that's it.
That-
Oh,
probably-
yeah.
the sad,
The sad
the
one.
sad
tree.
one. It could
The
only
sad
couldn't even
tree.
hold an ornament.
You know, I have a tree like that. I've had a Christmas rubber tree plant for years and years and years because I can't grow anything, and it's actually it's really rubber. It's really made out of
Is it
rubber.
really?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you just hose it off and it's ready to go
That's
for
it.
next year, right? That's
That's it.
what you got to do.
it.
All right, so let's get into this a little bit, Ralph. Let's talk like we're not doing it now.
Oh, yes.
But what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about, because you brought some things to the table.
Well, I think talking about some of the tech stuff that's going on. You know, in other words, some of the gifts that you can get this year.
Yeah, I think
you
that's
know,
a great idea.
because there's all kinds of stuff out there, and there's a couple ones that I found that I came across which were pretty cool, and they're not too expensive. One of them is actually this one is expensive. Is the X-Real Air AR smart glasses, and they don't look like the old Google glasses, right? And they're pretty cool, and they tie into all kinds of. They resemble a pair of designer shades. They provide an intuitive display, compact screen. They can operate a complete AR operating system no matter where you might be.
Yeah, it's
right?
funny because one of the things I brought on my list is Ray-Ban has gotten into
They've
the
got
smart
the new one, the
glasses.
Wayfarers.
With
The
Meta.
Meta.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Meta's
Meta, the Wayfarers.
Yeah, the
They
Wayfarers.
have HD cameras, speakers built in, AI run.
And they're only $380.
Yeah, things are starting to get a little more
Yeah.
affordable.
Yeah, by
Still a little
comparison.
bit of money to lay out,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, compared to it used to be $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're right. The Meta run ones, Meta powered glasses for
Yeah.
them. They look awesome because they look just like their Wayfarers.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
yeah.
just regular glasses.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit thicker than normal ones.
Yeah, I think
They
they're
got
like
some-
sides.
Gotta have
like,
the
Yeah.
microprocessor in there.
kind of
you
look
know?
like goggles almost.
Yeah, just about. And they've got the open speaker right there on the side
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and all that. And
Which are those like the bone conductor speakers? Like, you know, you can get those at Best Buy.
They might
yeah.
be. Yeah.
You know, I have
Yeah.
a set of those at home.
Yeah.
Bone conduction.
I haven't messed with the Ray-Ban ones,
Bone
but I
conduction.
have seen those, the bone
Yeah.
conduction headphones. So if they're like that, that's kind of cool.
That is
I
cool.
think they are similar, where they just kind of hover over the ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really wild to use them
Mm-hmm.
because you can clearly hear what you're listening to and everything else going on around you at the
I
same
heard they're
time.
great for
Yeah.
like exercising.
Yeah, they're made
Yeah.
for running.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good point,
Nothing
right?
jostles off of your ears. You know,
Yeah, and you can still hear the
Other stuff
ambient
around
sounds
you.
around you.
Yeah.
It's not,
I actually went to it was the International Microphone Museum one time up in Milwaukee, and it was up in this attic of this guy that I was renting gear from, and he had a microphone and he had a transducer, and he goes, "Here, clamp this between your teeth," and he clamped one end onto a file cabinet, and I put it between my teeth, and a radio station started playing in my head.
There you go. That's
that was
the
the first
concept.
thing, and that was
Crap is this?
bone, and it was bone induction, but it's like I'm going like, I mean, he literally had me clamped down on this piece of metal in my mouth, and he goes, "Okay, hang on." He clamped it on the. All of a sudden, it's like classic music started playing in my
If
head.
that happened to me, I'm going off the grid, living in the forest, like absolute gone.
That's right.
That's how microchips are going to work, okay?
That's
You're going to
right.
just be like, I want to listen to, you know.
I'm
Yeah,
waiting for
exactly.
the Neuralink cell phone, you know, that goes in with it. Just, you know,
Yeah.
all you do is you just tap your head, and it's like saying a number.
It'll be
I've heard
integrated
the-
into your vision.
That Neuralink has been working great so far in the first human test that they've done for that
Yeah.
Elon Musk has done.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen videos and he loves it.
Yeah.
I know
doing
he
pretty
said
good
he
with it.
increased his response time, or made it quicker, but that was one of the things I read about.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I like that. Yeah, so smart. What else did you bring as far as tech stuff?
Well, a couple other things here were there's and I actually own a couple of these. The Rempo eye massager with heat, and that's basically a pair of goggles you put on, and it has about 3 or 4 different heat settings. It also does an eye massage thing. It's a mixture of air pressure and heat. It softly massages the eyes, the brows, the temples to reduce fatigue and stress from everyday screen activities. So if you spend a lot of time in front of a computer screen, it's a really good thing. I use it at home all the time. I sit it on. It's great. You want to like zone out. It's a great way to zone out with that thing.
You can
on.
really
Yeah.
do that.
And then the other thing, and this is really cool, is there's 2 things actually. The Anchor Soundcore portable Bluetooth speaker, and I actually have one of these in my truck. I have an older truck, so I don't have a good radio system in that, and I use my Sirius XM app on my phone, and I just play music over that, you know, or listen to stuff. And then
It's a good idea.
The last one is this Lumi Galaxy projector, and you've seen these where it projects the galaxy on your ceiling and that. So for kids and that kind of stuff, it's great, because it's an at-home planetarium that brings high resolution. It actually brings 8K galaxy projections to the walls and the ceiling.
That's great because we're going to use that. It's going to utilize that in the movie I'm in. So I come out of the vent and I see all the stars and I go, "Where am I?" And I
Thinks he's in space now.
I'm holding my breath.
And he tackles somebody.
Yeah, and I tackle the security guard who's standing over the watching that. Guys, what'd you bring as far as tech? What do you think of some of the top tech gifts
speaking
or items?
of Anchor that Ralph had mentioned, they do other mainly batteries is what they do. One
Batteries and
product
power,
I
like,
do
strips
have,
and stuff.
and I absolutely love it. Is the Mag Go power bank. If you have an iPhone, it's just a MagSafe power bank. You slap it on the back, charges your phone, and you don't even notice it's there.
It also has a stand.
Yeah, and it
So
does
if you
have a
just-
stand so you can set your
Really?
phone down. It's
Nice.
I love it. I carry it around me all the time. Now that I have the new iPhone, I don't really need to charge my phone that often. But when I had my old one, it definitely came in
yeah,
clutch.
yeah.
Having the stand is actually nice too, because even if you're not charging it, you can just
Yeah,
set
you
it
just
down
sit
and you can watch a video or something.
So does it? So you say it'll just connect to the back of your phone?
Yeah, it's
so-
just a magnet. It just
So
slaps on.
will it work when you've got like a cover on your phone like that?
You
too?
do have to have a special case that's MagSafe
Okay.
for it. This one is MagSafe that I have on my phone.
This one is
or
not.
You can just take off your case and
Right.
then just slap it on your
Right.
phone for the time being.
You
Yeah.
can generally tell if it has that circle with the line through it. That's the Apple's logo for MagSafe.
Okay.
So
Okay.
And I do believe they make one
let's
for
see.
like Samsung.
No, this one's got Podcast Willie on it. I don't think it's
Ralph's case
MagSafe.
brought to you by Podcast Willie.
I don't think he's MagSafe.
Take off Willie.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in he's open domain, isn't he? Like you
He
can,
is public domain.
Yeah,
He's
that's
public
why we
domain.
made him ours.
That's why we made him Podcast Willie instead of Steamboat Willie.
Put an earbud in his ear,
That's right.
and
That's
he's
right.
holding our logo.
I forgot that happened.
We're Podcast Willie approved. So
That's right.
for this,
And Disney can't do anything.
that's right, and they can't
So-
touch us for that one.
And I love power banks because I've got about 8 of them. I've got everyone from the little thing. I've got this guy I carry around with me all the time. I got the one I really like is it's got solar panels on it.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I've actually hooked that
Very
up to
nice.
my phone to shoot video all day outdoors one time, and I never ran out of battery.
Those are
power
also
with it.
great for camping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you
yeah,
have
they,
those.
yeah, they really are.
Solar powered power banks.
And then I know power banks. Anchor just in general makes great power banks, and
Yeah.
they always go on sale. They go on sale all the time, but especially around the holidays, they're perfect gift for people. I'll probably be gifting some of them
Yeah.
to some people.
Great
They're
gifts.
so great.
And they have products of all price ranges, right?
Yeah,
Stocking
no, so they have
stuffers.
cheap power banks, expensive power
Excellent
banks.
gifts.
I just
They
got
have phone,
surge
like-
protectors from them
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
my stuff at home.
They
Really?
do cables like for your phone chargers. They do
Well, and
all
speakers,
that.
I've been using Anchor-powered speakers for like 30 years, because I used them in the audiovisual industry for backstage for just monitoring stuff
Right.
all the time. So Anchor speakers were big.
Yeah, so Anchor just in general, they have really
Yeah.
great battery
Yeah.
products, and they
Highly
range from all
recommended.
over.
All right, we got you guys' approval on that. One of the things I was like smart lights, and smart lights have been
Oh,
around
yeah.
a while, but a lot of companies now are taking it to the next level, especially around the holidays, talking about how you can decorate outside with smart lights. And there's different companies that do that, and they make different kind of your icicle lights, net lights, permanent lights, patio lights. I have some of those at home that are smart. You pull them up on the app. You can make each one a different color. You can set patterns. You can do schemes and schedules with them and stuff. There's one where you hang the lights, the permanent lights. You stand in front of your house and you map your house, and it shows you immediately where they all are with your app. And then you can
that's
touch
cool.
all the ones right there on the app and do whatever you want with them and stuff. So those are
Yeah, and
things.
they've gotten pretty affordable.
They have. They
Yeah.
really have.
For a while, they were like a little expensive, but now they're pretty. You can get them because so many people are making them.
And you
Right.
get color changing ones.
And they of course holidays, Black Friday, there were some big sales on those. I had some. I bought some.
Yeah.
I have some at my house right now. So
And I think are those the ones that like tie into like the Amazon Alexas and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So you can just
Yeah.
say Alexa, turn on the lights, and
Yeah.
they can do Amazon products, Google.
Google does
some
it,
will do Microsoft even. Yeah, you can do voice control of them. Like my patio lights now I have set would drive my neighbors crazy every time the Vikings win. I send everyone to the Vikings colors: purple, gold, white.
Well, and,
Drive them crazy.
And we gave away one of those smart lights for a while, and I named mine Bob because it was just easier. Like Bob, turn off the lights.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Does it come on and go, where am I? And one of the things I have, our area here, is a big birding area.
Oh yeah.
We have Portal is one of the best
Yeah.
places in
Yeah.
the world to see the most diverse and number of species of birds. And there is a smart bird feeder
I saw that.
that you can buy. It's waterproof and supposedly squirrel proof, which cracks me up. If you ever watched the videos of squirrels, how ingenious they are in figuring it out, trial and error, how to get into those bird feeders.
One of my favorite things is those ones that spin. So when the squirrels get on it, it just starts going.
I like the one where the squirrel comes up to the lady. She goes, "Look, you let me take the bird seed, and I won't chew through your internet wire."
Yeah, that's right. Let's just make an exchange here.
Bribery.
Yeah.
Well, they have ones now that have cameras right there,
Yeah.
HD cameras. You can see them. They also have ones now that have AI, and they can identify over 6,000
Yeah.
species of birds.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you can take pictures with them, send them to people, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of pretty neat if
Yeah.
you're into that kind of thing.
Pretty sure that was like a big selling point for the Samsung AI.
Oh yeah.
Like that they like, I think it's like Gemini is whatever they use. But yeah, that you can just take a picture of birds, really anything,
Automatically
and then circle
identifies it.
and it'll identify it, tell you
Yeah.
everything about it.
Yeah.
I haven't personally tested it, but
No.
if it
I
works,
haven't-
that
I
seems
haven't
pretty
either.
cool.
Yeah, I think that's, and it seemed like we were talking about this stuff is getting fairly affordable, right? Be
Yeah.
a good present for somebody who's got a lot of birds at their house. They have their own bird feeder set up, and you want to take them to the next level. Everybody has smart photo frames for our family can say, well, now you can take pictures of all your birds.
Right.
There
That's
you go. And
That's
any
right.
squirrels
And
that are trying to
share-
break in
and share it with everybody.
and share it with everybody.
That becomes the ubiquitous. Like, hey, here's another picture of my bird. Here's another picture of anher bird.
That's how you get muted in group chats.
That's right.
That's exactly how you,
Yeah.
Here's a red bird.
Yeah.
Here's a blue bird.
Here's a red bird with a
Stop
black
sending me
top.
those notifications.
yeah. Don't bring those to the group chat. I'm telling you, don't do that. A little etiquette tip for everybody there. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I mean, I think the point is affordable tech. It's out there for Christmas and the holidays, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk a little bit more about holiday related stuff. We come back from this break, guys. You're going to love it. Stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, are you playing Fortnite?
Yeah.
Let's go, man. I'm gonna beat you so bad.
You know I could go pro if I wanted to. You do not stand a chance. Besides, we always just play against each other.
Yeah, that's true.
We need to find more people to play with.
Hey, Valley Telecom has the Fiber Gaming Network, an online community where we can compete in tournaments and win real prizes, or just meet new gamers and participate in casual game nights.
Whoa, that's so cool. But how much does it cost?
It's actually free. Valley Telecom is providing this to their community at no charge. We just go to vtc.net/gaming and sign up.
Wow, that's so awesome. Now I can show everyone I'm the best.
Get in the game with a fiber gaming network powered by Valley Telecom. Go to vtc.net/gaming to sign up today.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere.
I was enjoying that, listening to that. Yeah, we're telling it on the mountain. Thanks for tuning in to Bits, Bytes, and Banter, our podcast. I'm Bob Dahlstrom with my host, Ralph Score, and today's special guest, Josh and Jacob Encinas. And we're here to talk about holiday-related things. And we're just talking about gifts and, talk about Fiber Gaming Network we just listened to. Gaming systems, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of gaming systems, the PlayStation 5 had a really good sale, and they're still on sale right now. I mean, bit pricey. They're $375, but compared to the original $450,
Right,
it's
that's a
definitely a
smoking
steal.
deal.
PlayStation
Yeah.
5. Speaking of, they offer that for the Valley Gaming. You can play on the PlayStation 5 on
Yes,
certain
you
games
can.
for the competition. So I think it's a great gift if you know somebody who's wanting a PlayStation, wants to get into gaming. It's a very great entry level console.
So question for you two guys, because you're both. I'm not a gamer. I play Tetris with like boxes and trucks.
There is
Stuff like
competitive
that.
Tetris.
It's actually kind of fun to watch.
But not in a truck with boxes. I'm a champion at that stuff.
I would pay to watch it though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
I say we make this
Yeah.
a sport.
I could make that a sport.
Ralph, pack, cat, truck.
be like the fireman games or
Yeah.
where. Have you ever seen those?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I love
We just
that.
have
Yeah.
Bob packing a truck.
Well, years ago, I shot the lineman competition where they were, how fast can you go up and change a transformer out on a pole? I'm glad I'm not doing that stuff. So anyway, so favorite games. What's your favorite games that you guys like to play?
Like right now, or just
I think. Well, give me your now and your all time. What's your all time go back to? Like that one.
All-time
Like,
go back
like
to.
that. Like
Yeah, everybody's
like
got one
when-
of those,
Like
at
when
least
Die
one.
Hard comes on, you'll always watch it.
I will always play the original Halo Combat Evolved. Like it's almost my go-to.
Yeah,
I love that.
Halo.
Yeah.
I grew up on Halo. So.
Yeah, I was playing it probably before I should have been. I mean, it came out in 2001, and I was like 4 years old. So I was playing it like
So when when they made the TV show Halo, was it anything comparison?
no comment.
I kind of weeped. I was sad.
That's what I thought.
I was like,
Okay.
this is not good.
All right.
It's the expectations versus
It's
reality.
like
Is that what
was
that
it The
was?
Godfather? Where it's like, look how they butchered my boy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what they did to my boy.
I know it was you.
So they pulled a Stephen King with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
season
Well,
two
they
was
got
the last
even-
season. They ended it. They're like, we're not doing this.
I got even like it got worse when they made Fallout because they actually involved
the
Todd
game
Howard
studio and the creators.
and they involved them all and they made a really decent show and it could be literally set in Fallout and it was a fun show to watch.
It stayed true to the game. So, like, people who played the games, they watch the show and they're like, hey, I remember that. I've done that. Or,
Yeah.
that's cool to see that on
Okay.
screen where, that
It
was
usually
really
doesn't
Maybe
happen.
somebody
a lot.
learned a lesson there.
So what games do you think are coming up right now that are going to be at the top of everybody's buy list?
The big one, and you don't have to buy it. It's free. Marvel Rivals came out just a couple of weeks ago. It's a 6v6, kind of a shooter game. It's not first person.
It's a hero shooter.
It's a hero shooter.
So if you've ever played Overwatch, it's very similar to that, except you're using Marvel characters, which is really cool.
It's on the PlayStation 5.
It is.
I've seen the trailers for that, Marvel Rivals.
Tons
Yeah.
of fun. I've been playing it every night.
I'm not very
it's
good
been
at
an
it, but-
addiction.
I'm gonna write it down because I got to remind myself to get on there and play that.
Yeah, it's
Marvel
super
Rivals.
fun.
I don't know if they've added it to the gaming network yet. They might add it because it is.
It did just come out.
Yeah.
And they're still.
and Indiana Jones just came out. I haven't played it, but that's one that everybody's really liking so far.
And which is another great gift. I would say if you have someone who has an Xbox or a PC, the Game Pass is a great gift. I think it's $18 now. They keep changing the prices. And I always forget
but
it.
you could do like a trial or
Yeah, you can do a
3-month.
trial or gift it to people, and it has over 100 plus games that you can download and play for free. I mean, you pay the monthly fee, but 100 games, you can play them, download them, do whatever.
And I know the new Call of Duty is on there.
All the
and,
new Call of Duties are
the
on
new
there.
Indiana Jones game.
Really?
So
Wow.
tons of
No
games.
kidding.
So
So you just paid for the access.
yeah,
to
and
get
then
access to those games.
Xbox did it really well. They did their monthly subscription, but they added just all these games. A lot of old games actually, like from 2000s and that weren't really available anymore.
and then they do
brought
their
them to-
perks. So they'll give gifts like they give Discord Nitro. So if you use Discord for gaming, they give out Nitro for free for a couple of months. They do like shows like Disney Plus. I think they were giving out for free. Just you had the Ultimate Game Pass. You got Disney Plus for free for just a couple of months.
Wow.
In-game stuff, they give in-game stuff. So if you're playing the game, hey, Game Pass has some free rewards for it. So
All kinds of perks.
I know a lot of people who end up keeping it after they have it. Just 100 plus games you can play there all day.
And if you're on PC, there is a PC only version, which is a little bit cheaper.
A little bit cheaper. You don't get the perks on that one either, though.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, but you get all the games.
You do.
which is nice.
I love it, man.
Yep.
I fancy myself. I'm not as much of a gamer as I used to be. I'm more probably of a casual gamer, but
Yeah.
I do love to game.
But Bob has a smart egg container at home.
What is a smart egg container?
Let me tell you what a smart egg container can do for you. It's so old. It's back when all this stuff first started coming out. Everybody was like, "I wonder if we can make one for eggs." Yes, let's do it. It's an egg container. It's really kind of dumb. You put it in your fridge, put your eggs in it, and hook it to an app. And if you're like at the store and you're like, "Man, I wonder if how old my eggs are," you get on your app and see how long they've been in there.
I could also
And-
open my notebook and just write, I got eggs on this date.
Yeah, but what if you lose that piece of paper?
If you have to ask, it's like maybe I'm buying too many eggs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not using enough. If I have to ask
I
that
wonder
question,
if we had to take this to Shark Tank, how are we pitching the eggs?
how do we
Smart
pitch that?
egg.
I don't know, but somebody got money for it.
Well, now we
Definitely
have
not
AI.
Somebody got Bob's money for it.
Yeah, somebody did.
It reminds me of the Smart Juicer. It was a product that launched on a website where you can donate if you wanted to actually make the product.
Right.
And
Right.
they ended up getting their funds, and it was a Smart Juicer. And I remember the whole thing went down because I was watching a ton of videos on it because I was like, what does a Smart Juicer do? Like, how is this different?
I'm
And
still in the dark here. Tell me what a smart
so
juicer is.
the
Yeah.
Smart Juicer.
Still like know the difference between a banana and celery.
It was
something like that.
I can't remember the price point. I remember it was really expensive. I want to say it was like $300 back in the day. And you had to buy special juice containers. So you couldn't just juice whatever you want. You had to buy their juice containers and you would put it in. And all the smart feature did was you pushed a button and it would juice for you. And I remember the biggest complaint was that you could buy the juice bags that are sold from them and squeeze it faster.
Yeah.
That's all it did. All it did was juice. The
Wait a
bag
minute.
that was already pre-juiced.
I'm in the wrong
and
business
pushed
is
it
what
out.
I'm hearing.
Apparently no one tried that in R&D when they were doing research and development. How about if I squeeze the bag?
It's kind of like this soda thing, where you have to buy their cartridges to create the soda fizz. I go, well, can I just go
Well, it's
buy
actually
a bottle
kind
of
of
soda?
brilliant, right? Because there's incoming profit. Well, you have to buy our special juice.
I don't
equipment,
think the company's a
accessories.
thing anymore.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Keurig worked out. So.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the 2.0 version was the same thing, but it would just go, juice is ready when it was done. That was it.
See, but my thing on Keurig, which I think is a great gift to give if you haven't gotten a Keurig yet, because I know everybody has one, but if they don't have one, Keurig, it's a great gift. I think they did it better with not being smart. It was just technology.
Yeah.
It was just like you push the button,
push the button
you had
and
the
it
pods.
goes. Yeah.
You didn't have to connect it to your phone. It didn't tell you if your coffee was ready.
Right.
There's no phone necessary. I think
it was still $70 when it first came out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then you still have to buy
Convenience.
these special pods that sold
Yeah.
from Keurig.
Now they're a little more.
that's the moneymaker right there, the pods.
That is.
Well,
yeah.
it's like
It's the
new
recurring nightmare of coffee.
the water bottle we have.
Circle.
It's the same thing. You get a water bottle and they have flavors. You just screw the top on, but you have to buy flavors from Circle.
Right.
Right, and see, that's how you, like you said, the main product, but it's always the accessories.
Yeah, but
all
that
the things
water
that go
bottle's
with
like
it.
It's the drug of
Water
smart
bottle's
water.
cheap. That's the one thing I was like, all right, it was like $10 for a water bottle. Plus I got some extra trial ones. So it was like, yeah, sure. I'll get into it. And I really enjoy it. I think that was a fun gift that
Nice.
you could give to people. It's not too expensive.
But you have to buy the flavors.
The problem is you do
And
have
they
to
don't
keep
really
buying
do
the flavors.
what-
And they're not, the flavors aren't too expensive. They're like,
They're like $3 a
yeah, and
piece.
they last a couple of bottles full.
But I was like hoping they would do like some bundle deals or something like here, get 10 flavors for like a discount or something. But they don't really. I mean,
And this-
sometimes they do, but
And the smart juicer. We're going to throw that in with your bottle.
We just have some extra ones. But you still have to buy
we got
the
a warehouse
juice.
full of them. We made some bad investments.
We're still peddling those things as fast as we can. I use my Keurig daily. I love
Yeah,
my Keurig.
no,
It's
Keurig's
awesome,
awesome.
man. But and all kinds of gifts, right?
Yeah.
Tech gifts
Yep.
and stuff. We're going to keep an
That's
eye
it.
on, and you can always find out more about them on our show.
Yeah, that's right. Now, what about streaming? Now, streaming, of course, streaming is nothing. Now I think everybody knows what streaming is now. If you don't, then actually, I've got a couple people that are in the area that still want their aerial up.
Right.
And most people don't realize this.
Free channels.
Actually, you can still put up an aerial, and as long as you got a good connection, the digital aerials now. I've got one on my house that's 140 miler. It'll give me 140 miles. The problem is
That's
that
impressive.
the Dragoon Mountains are only 3 miles away. And you
Yeah.
can't get in the way of it.
We're kind of in a valley out here, and there's nothing local.
I can get one sub channel from Channel 9 in Tucson, and it looks like
9.2.
high speed ant races. So,
I know you mentioned
Yeah.
streaming. I did take a look. Roku had a lot of deals on their streaming devices.
yeah.
Roku, you got to be kind of careful with though. They're probably like there's the sticks, which they're fine. They're like $20 or something like
Yeah.
that. But they're a little cheap. They don't really last very long. If you're gonna go with Roku, get the Express or the Express 4K.
Yeah.
Those ones are the ones that are
Right
gonna
now,
last.
Right.
the Roku Ultra, which is their 4K kind of their Apple one kind of looking like. It's
They're
kind of
all
a more of
kind
a
of
box.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit bigger. Normally it's $100. It's 21% off right now on Amazon at
like
$79. And so that's a great one. Their Express 4K, originally $40, on sale for $28. So right now, Roku, I saw, was having a lot of deals. Google, on the other hand, did not have any deals.
Yeah. Well,
Which
doesn't
is
that
sad,
surprise me?
because
They're like,
The Chromecast
"We're
are great, but they did not have any
We're
deals.
Google. We don't need to have deals.
Interesting. I know the Fire, which is what we usually get for giveaways and things like that. The Fire
Fire-
products.
Yeah.
They're
Same thing.
great.
Fire
Courtesy
sticks
of Amazon.
are also everything Amazon is on sale. So their
Yeah.
Kindles, their Echoes, their Fire sticks.
Yeah, they have Black Friday like every Friday, right?
Yeah.
And the Amazon is.
Which did you know, if you guys have a Kindle, they have a color Kindle now. They just barely released it.
We were
And-
looking at those because we thought that's kind of the Kindle readers are really nice.
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah,
great gift
especially
for
the
people
Paperwhite.
who love to read.
Yeah, the Paperwhites are really
I will say my wife she's one of those people that loves to hold a book, likes
Yeah, I
to
am
turn
too.
the pages, dog ear the page. And so when I bought her a Kindle a few years back for Christmas, she wasn't sure what she would think of it. Now she doesn't read a book anymore. She goes, if we go on a trip, I can load as many books on this Kindle as I want
Yep.
and just take that with me. And I've got everything instead of a whole bag of books.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you
And
get
it's
like a
cheaper.
Kindle
It's cheaper to buy books off of Kindle
It
because
is,
you
and
don't have to pay for paper
You get
or
some
anything like
through
that.
Prime though too.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah,
Amazon
you do.
Prime, you get a
Yeah.
ton of free books.
Well, you can
That's
also
exactly
access all the libraries, out there. But here's the thing you can't do on a Kindle. I can't take the margin and write my little flip book comic in there like I used to as a kid.
They have the Kindle Scribe.
Yeah, but we'll let me go.
You can't
Sadly
let
not.
watch it.
You have to
save
like-
them real quick.
Yeah,
You have to tap
It's
on it
saving
really
trees.
fast.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Yeah, that
forward,
when
back forward,
when
back
we
forward,
went
back forward, back
paperless. When I remember when we went paperless, we're going to save trees. You know what? I print more stuff now that we're paperless than ever in my entire life.
Oh, yeah.
Where's my whiteout or my IBM Selectric? I tell you.
Oh my gosh. So you're talking about streaming. So
Yeah.
one of the things you can stream are holiday movies.
Oh my
So
gosh,
let's
yeah.
talk about that topic. This is really, let's get to the meat of it
Well,
here.
I-
So what we wanted to talk about were holiday movies. We asked everybody
Yeah.
to bring in a list of their favorites.
But I think before we get to that, I'm going to run down. These are 3 lists really quick. I'm just going to name them
Yeah.
off, right? These are 3 top 10 Christmas
And these may be some
movie lists.
surprises here for some people.
One of them is from Entertainment Weekly. Another one is from IMDb, International Movie Database. And the last one is Rotten Tomatoes. Okay.
Buckle up.
Yeah. So
Rotten Tomatoes. I don't trust them.
yeah.
Yeah, buckle
Well,
up
you
on that
really
one.
won't trust them after you hear this.
Yeah.
So, Entertainment Weekly, number 10, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's 1964. The
And I never
stop
considered
motion.
that a movie, but I guess it is.
Well,
It's a
again, it
TV
was-
movie,
Yeah,
I
it was a
think
TV
it was.
movie. Yeah.
I thought it was a TV special.
And another one just like that, number 9, A Year Without Santa Claus, 1974. Number 8, Muppet Christmas Carol, 1992. 7, Bad Santa, 2003. And here's one I had no idea. Love Actually from 2003, right? I guess it
Andrew
happened-
Lee.
it happened-
There's like a
happens
lot
at-
of big
yeah.
actors in that
That's a
movie.
rom-com there that they try to really make everybody
Yeah.
tries to say it's a holiday movie.
Yeah. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This was the 1966 version with Boris Karloff.
That's
on it,
the
right?
best one.
The best one.
That's a gold standard.
Number 4, Elf, 2003. Number 3, A Charlie Brown Christmas, 65. A Christmas Story, 1983. And number 1, It's a Wonderful Life, of course.
See, I just
Yeah, Wonderful Life's a
that
good
would be
one.
my argument is that shows like the original Charlie Brown Christmas
Yeah.
and Year Without a Santa Claus. I just think of them as TV specials.
Yeah, I do too. But they
Not movies.
But they list them under But
Yeah,
Entertainment Weekly is
interesting.
a
They
pretty
have
like
commercial
that.
breaks built into the movie.
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
Not anymore. You can get it without it. So
Yeah, Apple has all the
Well,
Charlie
it has
Browns.
the scenes
right?
where it like fades to black, and
Yeah,
if you're
and
not
it comes
watching
back
it on
in.
then it just comes back.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
They had made it for TV.
Yeah. So
Yeah, perfect.
here's the IMDb list. Okay, number 10 is Gremlins. Number 9, Elf. Number 8, Miracle on 34th Street. Number 7, A Christmas Story. Number 6, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Number 5, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the 64. With the what's the Island of
Misfit Toys.
Misfit Toys. Yeah, I love that.
You guys can't see
the
it, but
juicer.
Jacob is
Yeah.
shaking over here.
Number 4, Home
the juicer
Alone.
in the egg container around
Yeah.
the Island of Misfit
Yeah.
Toys.
Yeah.
If it were made today, that would be
It
on
would
there.
be there.
I'm a juicer that tells you
someone
when-
would because someone would say you're a toy. Home Alone number 4, A Christmas Carol, 1951 version. Number 3, number 2, Die Hard. And this is IMDb, and number 1, It's a Wonderful Life. And okay, now Rotten Tomatoes.
See, isn't IMDb voted on by people though, or is
yeah,
that?
IMDb is because it's rated, right? It's ratings.
So,
It's
yeah,
great.
I want to know who put Gremlins on that list.
I don't know, but it made it by a lot of people. And then Rotten Tomatoes, okay, number 10, It's a Wonderful Life. People have no heart. Number 9, a movie called Carol, which I guess is about a doll
That sounds terrifying.
Toy Story.
What's her name?
No, it's a sentimental story about a lady that sees a doll in a window and it reminds her of her childhood or something like that. And then Klaus, which came out in 2019, that was an animation that came out. It was an original
I
animation.
heard that one was actually pretty.
Is that
actually
the one
really
done
good.
by
Same
Netflix?
thing.
Or?
Yeah, it's about a postman who's trying to make his deliveries up up in the North Pole. And then number 7, Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 6, Little Women. Number 5, Miracle on 34th Street. Number 4 is a movie called Tangerine, which is about some transsexual thing I read about. So I don't know how that has
Fairly
to do
recent
with
movie.
Christmas.
Nah, I'm not familiar.
No. Number 3, The Holdovers, which is brand new, 2023 with Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Number 2, one of my favorites, The Shop Around the Corner from 1940.
The Holdover. I'm trying to remember. I think the Holdovers. That was the one that was shot like a 70s.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I never actually saw it. I saw the.
He's at
trailers,
like a
like-
prep school, and
Yeah,
the kid has
yeah.
to stay over. And then finally, number
remember
1,
the trailers.
Meet Me in St. Louis. which was with Judy Garland.
40s? That
yeah,
movie
that
came
was
out?
1944 and Shop Around the Corner, 1940, and It's a Wonderful Life, 1946.
My movie will make that list.
That was a really bad list.
yeah.
That list was
I knew not
That's
to trust
Rotten
Rotten
Tomatoes. That's right.
I knew
Well,
not
you
to
got to
trust.
have the good. You got to have the apex level, and you got to
That
have
was
the not
all
so
over the
apex
place.
level. That's
and
right.
and that's critics. Because I do know they have 2 scores on Rotten Tomatoes normally. They
Well,
have a
I don't know
critic
how
and
they
then
do
they
that
have
on
a
Well, I don't know because
though.
critics.
I'm assuming-
everybody is a critic. That's the problem, right? It's like
Well, their critics are really bad.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that list is like that was
Jacob
all over
with
the
the
map.
controversial statements.
I don't think it's controversial.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people could agree with me. Rotten Tomatoes not good. Their critics not good.
Yeah, kind of like
Mercy.
the community standards people at Meta. you
Yeah,
know?
I trust IMDb because it's people.
Yeah.
You know, just regular
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I always think about like the Godzilla movies that they do.
Yeah.
Like all the time, Rotten Tomatoes always gives bad scores.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not a deep enough movie, and it's like, well, I don't
Yeah.
want it to be deep. I want to watch monsters fight.
Well, and I
Yeah.
could have brought the top level you to the AFI list, and that, but that's maybe a little bit like, oh yeah, sure, AFI. I can't afford to get in there
AFI,
anyway.
we're going to get a lot of Coppola movies in the top
that's
of that
right.
list
That's
and
right.
stuff like that.
You're going to need some of his wine to go with them
Yes,
too. So,
yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so now we're going to get to our lists of our top 5 movies, and I want to know why it's on your list. That's my question.
So how are we doing? Are we going to go around and do like our
Yeah,
number
how do you
5?
want to do it, Ralph? Who do you want
Crisscross
to?
applesauce around
Well,
the
you're the
table.
host, Bob. You picked this.
Okay,
out.
you want me to start?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my list. So first of all, I have a couple of honorable mentions that did not make this list, and that is the Santa Claus. Did not make my top 5. Love that movie. Fred Claus did not make mine. Violent Night is one of my top
That was
10
just
movies.
last year when that one came out.
I think last year, the year before,
something
Yeah.
with David
David
Harbour playing Santa Claus. It's hyper violent, not for kids.
Oh, come
Great
on.
movie.
Everything that Christmas is about.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Wait, it's a Christmas movie. It's for kids.
Tell me, Timmy, what is the meaning of Christmas? And this one's gonna blow your mind. It's a curveball. Home Alone 3.
Isn't that like Jaws
The
3
third
to
one?
Revenge?
The third one, and this is why. Let me tell you, this has nothing to do with the first 2.
Thank God.
It
'cause
kind of
Colin
around,
McCulkin's
and this
a
one,
little
this
bit
one
too
you can
old
even
for this
say
one.
it's probably not the holidays, but it's around the holidays. And it was our kids' favorite, one of our favorite movies growing up that they watched. And it's kind of the same theme, but totally different people in it. No Macaulay Culkin makes an appearance. None of those other people make an appearance. And it's one of the very first acting gigs of Scarlett Johansson. She's in that as the sister.
I think I've seen it, but my
refuse
brain
to
blocked
acknowledge it.
that part out a while ago.
Okay, that was the honorable mentions.
Except for
Call
the
it you
Scarlett
want.
Johansson part, right?
Well, she showed back up in some other
yeah.
things.
Yeah,
It was
she
fine.
did. All right, so number 5 for mine is a brand new movie on my list, and that's The Christmas Chronicles. Kurt Russell as Santa is awesome.
It was perfect.
It's something
He's
you didn't
so
know
good.
you needed, and now I can't get enough of it. Love watching that movie.
Now,
And they
did
a
you
sequel.
watch the other ones? Did you watch the sequel?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sure did,
Yeah.
and it's still good, but not
Yeah.
as equally
Yeah.
good, right? It's same for any kind of series,
Yeah.
of movies, franchise. The original is usually where it's at.
And that's a Netflix original, correct?
It's a Netflix
Yeah.
original.
Yeah.
original.
Where Goldie Hawn makes an appearance at the very end
Yeah.
as Mrs. Claus.
As Mrs.
She
Claus.
has a much bigger presence in the second one. So
Yeah.
that was my number 5. Number 4 was Elf. And when I first saw this movie, I loathed it.
Yeah.
I watched the movie in the theaters, and it was circumstances at the time, but I'm like, I never laughed once. I was like, I don't
Bob
get
was
this
like,
movie.
this should be called cringe.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't, what am I watching? But I've grown to love it, and I watch it all the time. And it's one of those movies, every time it's on, you got to stop and watch it. It's either on in the background or you're watching it. I can quote it a bunch.
Have you ever wanted to try the syrup spaghetti that he makes in the movies?
Oh, totally. Totally.
With
Yeah.
crushed up
Candy-
chocolate Pop Tarts and candy cane.
You mean you
cane,
haven't
candy
tried
corns,
the syrupy spaghetti?
and syrup.
Maybe we should try that. Like, I'll go to the store really quick, cook up some spaghetti, and
On
get
a
some
break.
syrup.
Let's take a break real quick. So,
We'll be right back.
yeah. And then we'll all be like, we're just like,
That was a bad idea. We're not doing that again.
well, yeah, we'll all be chugging water and having to, excuse me, and run away for a minute, and we need a break. So that it made my actual top 5 now, and about when it first came out, it wouldn't even been in my top 20. But it's funny how it works that way. Number 3, The Muppet Christmas Carol. That's my favorite version of the Christmas Carol because it has
Yeah.
a narrator.
Yeah.
Gonzo narrates, and it's very close to Dickens in that they're very faithful to Dickens, and it's done well. And Michael Caine
he's great.
He's phenomenal. And when they hired him for that movie, he decided he was going to play like he would any other movies, just straight. This is a legit movie, which it is, but not with Muppets next to it.
I think that's so great that the way he did it.
And it worked out
Tim
beautifully.
Curry did the same thing for the Muppets and Treasure Island.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was
Totally did.
I don't know what it is about Muppets, but you get the best out of some actors.
You really do.
Michael Caine played it just as straight as he did it in Jaws: The Revenge.
That
is 2
That
hours
was a
I will
Christmas
never
movie.
get
It's
back.
just in the Bahamas, you know.
You will
can't
not
tell it's
believe a
Christmas.
shark can scream. It screams in the movie.
That's another
roars.
movie I do not acknowledge that exists.
But I saw
It followed them.
the sidebar for that. I saw an interview with Michael Caine about that. He goes, "What do you?" And somebody asked him, "What do you say about people that talk to you about Jaws 3, The Revenge?" He goes, "I had a woman come to me and tell me for forever how horrible it was and how could I put my name on that movie." And I can't do the Michael Caine voice, or I would do it. But what he basically said was, he goes, "Ask my mom. I used that money to buy her a brand new house."
Yeah.
So you
There you
tell
go.
me how
Yeah.
it went.
Yeah.
He didn't care. End of story.
I think Jim Carrey said something similar for the newest Sonic movie. He's like, I bought something, so I needed to come back and act.
Yeah, that's it.
Need the money.
I need the money. Yeah.
Similar to how Bruno Mars comes back and makes songs because he spends money. He needs it.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he appears like with somebody. All of a sudden, like he's like a groundhog. He just kind of comes back. All of a
That's
sudden
right.
there he is.
That's
again with
right.
a
It's
new
always
song.
a great movie, or like when he just comes, Jim Carrey comes back, great movie.
Yeah, never saw that coming. And what a great idea. What a great movie. So that was my number 3. Number 2 is A Christmas Story. And that was even before they started doing the marathons, a
Yeah.
24-hour
Yeah.
marathon every year, where it airs back to back to back to back. I love that movie. It reminds me, and I'm going to date myself, but on some level, it reminds me of me growing up.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
grew up in a small town, and the hardware store was the toy store at Christmas. And they would literally do half the store. It's a big store. Half of it was toys. And they would do the window like that, where you had to come check it all out. It's where we all ran and checked what did they do, what they come up with. And so a little bit, in some ways, it
Yeah.
reminds me of that. And
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Now, did you watch the sequel that came out on HBO?
I did.
What'd you think about that one?
It wasn't bad. I was fully expected to hate it.
Yeah,
and I didn't. I mean, it really was. It was all obviously total callback to the first, and a lot of
Yeah.
resolutions in some of the storylines and from the first. So I didn't hate it. I thought but I've seen it. I don't. It's not like I've added it to my playlist. But
Would
it
you
wasn't
believe
bad.
that that's actually the third one?
I knew there was another
There
one.
is another one.
That one I have not seen.
that one
one's
we do
no-
not acknowledge.
No, that one's rough.
That's
that one we
another one we do not acknowledge.
That one was an
So these
alternate
aren't going to
universe.
exactly end up on the 24 hours special from TNT.
That was a multiverse. We don't. We,
There's a
that
reason
one.
they never play it. There,
But the one with Billingsley, Peter Billingsley, actually coming back as a
Yeah.
dad, his
Yeah.
family and stuff, bringing it back. That one, it was a nice touch. I
Yeah.
thought what they did.
Yeah.
And of course, my number 1 should be no surprise to everybody. It's a movie. This year. It's celebrating its 35th anniversary, and that's National Lampoon's A Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
And I love that movie. I can quote that movie verbatim. It's part of our tradition to watch it at least once. We all sit down and watch it, but it's always on in the background, no matter what we're doing at the holidays. And now that's one that they've started doing a marathon of.
That's the first one we watch every year. Our dad loves Christmas Vacation. That's
That's
his favorite movie
fantastic.
of all time. So we know that one front to back.
I mean, we and we can get more into that, and we want to know everybody else's list, guys. So everybody at home, if you're listening, get your list ready. But when we come back, we're going to hear some more Christmas lists and debate some movies and whether or not they are actually Christmas movies. We'll be right back.
The endless options for streaming movies, shows, and sports can be overwhelming. Valley Telecom is here to help with Stream Now, your ultimate online reference for all things streaming. Whether you're a binge watcher or just looking for a quick episode to enjoy, we've got you covered. Discover recommendations, compare platforms, and find the best content for your favorite streaming devices. Stream Now makes it simple to get the most out of your streaming experience. Enjoy the journey of discovering your next favorite show, movie, or live event all in one place. The best part is it's free to use. Unlock the door to endless viewing possibilities by going to gostreamnow.com/VTC today.
And we are back to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Bob Dahlstrom, along with my co-host, Ralph Score. And once again, remind everybody where you can get our podcast. Podbean is where we host them. And you can see all the episodes and synopses and descriptions of each episode. And go there and search Valley's Bits, and you'll find it. You can also find us on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, on our website at vtc.net/blog, and on our YouTube channel, right, Ralph?
Yep.
And just thank our host for being here today, our guest.
Yeah.
For
I'm
Josh.
the host now.
We believe we're going to have the Brothers Grimm back on again.
And I'm
special.
Recurring
Josh
We're
and
now
Jacob
taking over.
That's right. That's
Or
right.
have our
Own
moms and we are the
sideshow.
host now. So
Sorry, I'm over here just quoting in my head Christmas vacation
Yeah.
lines to myself. Hey, Griswold, where do you think you're going to put a tree that big?
Bend over an option. Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't talking to
you
you.
got a lot of nerve to talk to me that way.
Yeah.
Clark, I can't put that. If I, hit my head this way, my hair ain't gonna.
That's right. And one of my favorites at Christmas is like, if I'd woken up tomorrow with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now. So,
My favorite scene, I don't think I can quote, but it was when he's talking to the lady at the mall,
at the counter.
At the counter, yeah.
Did you know
What do you
that?
think, Russ?
And in the scene where he does his big rant at the house,
Yeah.
that he couldn't remember all that, and you can't see, but when the camera's facing him, all the actors are wearing signs around part of the script around their neck, and he's looking at them to read it as he's
wow.
doing his whole thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a rough line.
Yeah.
That would be tough to do. And now they show them there. Obviously, don't have them. They reshoot it, but
So obviously Scorsese wasn't involved in that movie.
well, because according to him, it probably wasn't cinema.
Well, he would have done it. He would have made him do it all in one take without knowing, without having the cue card.
Absolutely.
Didn't his daughter for a Christmas buy him a bunch of Marvel stuff after that comment that he had made?
Oh, about
How
some movies are actual movies and some are just roller coaster movies.
Yeah.
and so
And he was
Right.
hinting at the Marvel movies are roller coaster
Well,
movies.
I think he
Yeah.
is, because if you look at stuff like, even movies like The Martian when it came out, right? They would have never put the kind of budget behind that movie now because of the tentpole stuff. They would have given it about 1/3 of the budget that they had to work with on that. So
I look at movies like Home Alone, pitching that idea. It sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
The whole movie is just a kid stays
Yeah.
home and has to fight off burglars. That's who's going to make that movie?
yeah, but you put Joe Pesci there.
Yeah.
and then you have
Right.
Christopher Columbus.
Chris Columbus,
Who
and
directs
it was
it. Yeah.
written by John Hughes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it
so you
was.
got to
So-
imagine.
I think that's the big selling point is you put John Hughes there.
Yeah.
But he had
And-
to make some of his other movies first.
But that's
And then he's like-
that's
Get a little
that's like
credibility.
Braveheart. The only reason that they made Braveheart was because Mel Gibson agreed to be in it, not just direct it. But they said, "Well, if you're not starring in it, we're not backing it." So you remember him telling a story about he was, the big speech. It's like, we'll never take our freedom. He said, "I was riding on that horse and I'm riding back and forth, singing my lines, and he got off and he immediately ran behind the camera."
Yep.
So let's get back into our main subject here.
All right.
Yeah, let's do that. But Home Alone, like you said real quick, the pitch for that movie, was it the storyboards that sold it? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
If
But
you
Planet
guys
of
are
the Apes
curious
was,
about
yeah.
it, there was a Netflix series not too long ago. I believe it was called The Movies That Made Us.
Yes,
And they had an episode dedicated to Home Alone.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
They also had one to Die Hard.
They did. And Jurassic
get to
Park.
that.
And
We
there was a
will
bunch
get to
of
that.
them.
We're going to get to that.
Jurassic
yeah.
Park would be interesting.
Jacob is
Must go faster.
ready to go.
Actually, if it was made in Harlem, it would be Get Your Ass Kicked part. So,
That would be. So when we took a break, I went over my top 5 Christmas movies list, and I've been the only one to go so far. So,
yeah.
Josh, as you're a guest, would you like to share your top 5 Christmas movies?
I would. All right. So my number 5, I have the 2000 Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay.
I think it's a good movie. It's a little rough, but the work that he put into it is worth watching by itself, and it is a fun movie.
The
It's
blood,
a fun.
sweat, and tears he did to get into that costume and everything.
Jim Carrey really carries in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
You only watch
100.
it for Jim Carrey.
It is an absolute Jim Carrey vehicle.
And it has it has, not aged at all. It's still really fun to watch, and you can quote it, and it's I think they even post on TikTok. It's just things that are still quotable today.
Yep.
It's a timeless movie the way they did it.
My schedule would not allow it. And his old thing.
Self-loathing at night.
But what will I wear?
That was great. Number 4, My list is backwards because of the phone. Number 4 for me, I put Disney's 2009, also with Jim Carrey, Christmas Carol, and I
right
put
on.
that
That's a good one.
because honestly, like I don't even know if it's my favorite version of the Christmas Carol. There's just so many different versions,
There
and
are.
it's hard for like. I like some parts of this one. I like some parts of the other one. I think the 1984. I can't remember the name of the actor. I think he played the best Scrooge. I think Jim Carrey did an okay job, and I think being animated, it had the advantage of like you could have Jim Carrey play Scrooge at these different ages, and they didn't have to do all these weird things, and they had these big epic scenes where he's like being flown around London and all that stuff. But it also is considered one of the more dark versions of the story.
It's probably one of the more realistic versions to what Dickens wrote, as far as being very depressing and dark, and the acting he did in it because of the capturing.
It's a ghost story. It's supposed to be a little scary, you know.
Yeah.
I will say the end chase scene of that movie was really unnecessary. I love the movie. We'll get to my list.
As soon as you get the Ghost of Christmas Past and all that stuff starts happening, that was like the moment that like the Christmas present is like, you know, just decaying in front. That was all scary.
Yeah.
And
for
then the
me,
Ghost
I
of
think
Christmas
that movie
Future
had
comes-
like such a strong beginning and a middle. I think
And no ending.
The ending was kind of where it kind of was like, eh.
Yeah,
but I think it had such a strong
Also, I
beginning.
think
and
Gary
middle.
Oldman did a good
You're
job. on
going
that one.
over
He
budget
actually
and over
did.
schedule.
Yeah, that's what it
Gary
was.
Oldman did it.
Way
Yeah,
too
he did
much.
a great job
So,
as always.
My recommendation is any version of the Christmas Carol. Pick your favorite, and it's one of my favorite stories. I read the book kind of fairly often around Christmas, but it's not a very long one.
Mm-hmm.
So for number 3, I have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Very nice. Nice to
And
hear
that
it on the
one-
list.
Yeah,
you
it's-
have good taste, I see.
It has to be on my list. We watch it every year. It's a great movie.
That's fantastic.
They don't make funny movies like that really anymore.
They
They're
don't.
Like,
No.
like situational, like realistic comedies.
Yeah.
They do, and it's not as good. I don't know.
No, it's
maybe
like-
I think it's a lot of those movies don't get the budget anymore. Kind of
No, they
similar to
don't.
Scorsese.
They don't,
you know?
yeah.
I think they get pitched. Just
I mean, the only ones that
budget's
might get
not
it,
there for
the Farrelly brothers might get something like that.
Not only that, but everybody's afraid to make anything to offend anybody anymore.
Yeah.
That kind of comedy
Yeah.
where it's just okay to laugh.
they
Just
did
the
the Beverly
colors.
Hills Cop, the
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
Axel F.
Yeah.
which
Well, and I think that a
was
lot
kinda
of the
similar to
projects
it.
get sent to TV.
Well,
They
and
do.
understand this, that the model, the model for the studio model is completely different than the models for Netflix and Amazon, because it's not about the tent pole and getting it back within a couple of weeks. Netflix and Amazon, their model is what can we give to our subscribers to get as many subscribers as we can. So they have no problem, running deep pockets for stuff. I mean, look at the deal that gave Adam Sandler,
Right.
stuff like that.
Oh yeah, to go crazy and
Yeah.
to use his creativity
Yeah.
to make it. And I will say this one thing: in Christmas Vacation, one of my other scenes that always cracks me up is when he's bringing the present to Mr. Shirley. And he says, my wife and I just came up with a little something. And it's this weird shaped present. And he says, put it on the table. The other's grease ball. And you turn around, and they're all shaped that way. What is the present?
He like pushes the
They're
other
all
ones
like
away.
Yeah, but they're all L shaped. They're all this weird shape. They're the same shape. It's like, what is that present that everybody got, Mr. Shirley? Anyway,
No.
that's my big rant. Now you're going to watch that. When you watch the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about.
We could have a whole discussion about that movie.
I
It's
could like
great.
I see the image in my head. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know the image. I was like, I don't know what it is.
What is that?
I
think
really
I know what Jen and I
wish
are
like
watching
50 year
tonight when I
anniversary
get
they
home.
released
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
the actual gift.
I know. I would love to know the story.
All right, so number 2 for me, I put Home Alone.
All right.
That
Very
one,
nice.
I grew up watching that one, so
Totally
it
understandable.
is.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Anything that has a cameo by John Candy gets a thumbs up for me.
Oh yeah, John Candy was the best.
Oh, he's great.
What was the story on him doing that? I thought it was he just happened to be in the area, and
Yeah.
they
kind of
paid him
brought-
for like a
they just
week or
brought him
something.
in, yeah.
And his entire thing is ad libbed.
Yep.
Yep.
They
His-
wrote
his
him
part.
in like the same time they were making the movie.
Yeah.
And the fact him and Catherine O'Hara together from SCTV, that was
Yeah.
awesome to see.
Yeah.
That, and they wrote a letter to John Williams as like almost a joke, thinking that like there's no way he would actually do it. But then he did it, and I guess his reasoning was just I've never done a Christmas movie.
And
Yeah.
And I
there he
think
was.
he did the best version of the Carol of the Bells or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did the best version, hands down.
Hands down.
Yeah, so it's just a weird combination. Like you'd never get a movie made like that again. Hardly,
No, it'd be difficult to do.
It's just one of those one of a kind things. And my number 1, I put Elf.
Nice.
That one
Very
I grew
nice.
up. That one
Great
came
movie.
around my age. There's a lot of jokes in that movie that like you don't catch on the first watch. And
Yeah.
I think that's why as you watch it throughout the years, it gets kind of funnier and get
Yeah.
to see. Jon Favreau is really good at making movies.
John Favreau.
He really is.
He's an expert.
I always think about
He's
the mail scene and when they're in the
mail
mail room and he's
The
talking to one
shiny
guy
mail.
and he's like, he's like 37 or
No, he's
something.
26.
Or 26.
That dude's a rough 26
like-
in that movie.
26.
I had to pause and go, wait, I'm sorry, 26? That dude's
It's
rough
a story
life.
about asparagus that are insecure about the way their pee smells.
It's existential yet so accessible.
I think that movie was just Will Ferrell. Just being Will
That
Ferrell.
was
It is.
okay,
Oh,
and
for
so that was
sure.
where I was going to put in as an honorable mention. I think Fred Claus is a good movie. I love the ending to Fred Claus.
I do too.
And I think Elf and Fred Claus are very similar movies in that you have the main actor, which is Will Ferrell and Vince Vaughn, and they're both just playing to their strengths.
Yeah.
And that
Yes,
Will
they drive
Ferrell
it.
is just a goofball,
Yeah.
kind of dorky guy pretending to be an elf walking through New York City, whereas Vince Vaughn is kind of this like fast talking,
like a con man.
con
the
man,
con man,
and
yeah.
they just do that throughout the whole movie. I just think in Elf it was a little more charming rather than Vince Vaughn in Fred Claus. The rest I did like
I
the
get that.
ending in the movie of Fred Claus.
The only
Do you
problem
have
with
any
Will
more
Ferrell is he's
honorable
ruined the Fleetwood Mac song now.
Oh yeah. Wait, what?
Complete. I can't listen to the song now.
Yeah, you got
I want to pay with you everywhere.
Thanks, PayPal.
I can't even think of another. Talladega Nights is the other one, but it's
Yeah.
always him playing the same character.
It's
He's
Will
just
Ferrell. It's Will Ferrell
Anchorman.
being Will Ferrell.
Anchorman.
It's
Yeah,
kind of like Tom Cruise.
Just
You
him
never
being
forget
Will
it's Tom
Ferrell in the
Cruise.
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one about fashion with what's his name? I just watched that movie,
Oh, you're talking about Zoolander?
Zoolander with Will Ferrell. Yeah, because Will
Will
Ferrell was in
Ferrell
that
was
one,
in,
and
yeah.
he just shows
he's
up.
the bad guy, but he's still a silly, goofy guy.
Yeah, he does a really good job at it, and I think Elf is like a really a good representation of that. He's just likes to play a goofball.
Nah, I agree. I agree with that. That's a good list. I'll take that list. I'll take that list all day.
Okay.
All right, now we're looking over at Jacob, and he's like
He's
about
chomping at
to
the bit. And
There's
look at the
there's
difference here.
light.
We've got a smartphone with Josh, and we've got a book with Jacob.
And
I brought a
Jacob, he opened up his notebook and light emanated from it with his list.
He's got a couple of lists. You'll see.
Yeah, it was hard.
Oh.
Christmas is my favorite holiday. I watch tons of movies during this time of year. I started in November 1st. It was Christmas movies right away.
Nice.
And just been watching them. It was hard to come up with this list. So I do have some honorable mentions, similar to Bob. The Jingle All the Way was an
that was
honorable
one I was
mention.
gonna say too.
Great movie.
It's
That was
so weird.
that was one of those movies when I first saw it, I thought this is a mess. When I
so
first saw
all
that
over the
movie,
place.
but it's all over the place. But I like it. I enjoy watching it.
At the very end, it's got a very nice message.
Yeah.
It's a feel good movie.
Yeah.
So that was an honorable mention. One that was an honorable mention, and not that it's a great movie, but it was just so bad. I enjoyed watching it. Was The Mean One. It's like it's a very indie film, and it's about what if the Grinch was a slasher guy.
was a horror
and went
movie.
around killing people.
It's like a below B horror
Well,
movie.
now I am intrigued.
Yeah,
because
now
I am
I
a
gotta
big
watch it.
slasher movie guy.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
It's
but
good.
it's like
Mean One.
They tried to replicate like Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Oh no!
And it just doesn't
No.
work. It doesn't work at all.
No.
And it was one of those like, oh, you just gotta watch it and then be like, yep, that was a thing.
Oh, the horror.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like a train wreck. You got to watch. You can't look away.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I have to see this now. I have to
And
see
then
it.
another honorable mention that I don't think anyone's mentioned, The Polar Express.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That one with
that-
Tom Hanks.
That has
and-
always creeped me out so bad.
His
whenever,
eyes
you know.
never line up.
Yeah.
I've never watched the entire movie.
What?
Because
I know
you
that's one of those
can't.
movies
You
I-
can't watch the whole movie.
They forced us to watch it in school.
It'll make you
Yeah,
tear your
that's-
eyes
Did they
out.
really?
Only G-rated Christmas movie that they would always play.
Oh my gosh!
No, the Polar Express is great, and
a
Tom
great
Hanks
story.
did like
It's a
all the
great
motion
story.
capture for it.
Yeah.
He did the motion capture for the kid.
Yeah.
He wasn't the voice. He just did the motion capture
Really?
for it.
Yeah.
Which I was found weird. That's why
That's interesting.
I don't know why they did it that way.
I think
It's
it was
kinda
like
like-
the same thing with the Disney's Christmas Carol. Like they were made
Yeah.
just a little bit before animation got to the point it needed to be.
Yeah.
For those.
Yeah, they pushed it at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that's Zemeckis, I mean,
Yeah.
he's got, you look at the stuff he did with Roger Rabbit, that was kind of like an extension of that. It goes, I'm going to take it to the next level.
Roger Rabbit was clever.
Yeah.
with his
I
whole,
love
like,
Roger
live
Rabbit. Who
action.
Framed Roger Rabbit.
In fact, that's my favorite Christmas movie.
It's a great Christmas.
But I love. I can appreciate that the kids would love that movie, The Polar
Yeah,
Express. As far as that goes, I get that. I can totally see why that would be on people's favorites.
Well,
Oh, yeah, and
there was a
of
lot of creepy scenes in that one as well,
yeah.
like the puppets in the train. That was
Yeah.
But anyways, let's go back to my list.
And then the leprechaun pops up.
Jacob's like, I can't. Just,
I'm going to the North Pole.
bad dolls, bad dolls.
was there
Such
a
a creepy
leprechaun
scene.
Christmas?
No, I'm totally adding characters
There was
now.
he
All
goes
right.
to the hood. The leprechaun goes there.
Yes, he does.
But apparently no Christmas movie. I feel like that's a missing one they could have done.
Totally should have done that.
Leprechaun versus Gremlins.
Leprechaun versus Santa Claus. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Okay, so my number 5 was A Christmas Story. 1983's Christmas Story.
Nice.
It's just a classic. I mean, mainly because they air it all the time. You just have to watch it once
Yes.
a year.
Yeah.
So that's why it's on my list.
it's
just,
required watching, right?
you always watch it.
It's fragile.
Yeah, that's right.
Must be Italian.
The leg is such an iconic one. It's so
Oh yeah, we
iconic.
just got our dad an ornament that has and it lights up and everything. I think Hallmark did it.
It's fantastic. I have one on my tree, as a matter of fact. Darren McGavin, I love him. Underrated actor.
Oh
Yeah.
Number 4, I have Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Rankin Bass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love those TV specials, and there's another one on my list.
They're fantastic.
I love the music in that one. I love the musicals that they did in those, and stop motion is such a great film thing. I love how they do it. It's so,
It's like doing film aerobics.
yes, I know they put in a lot of work in there.
Yeah.
And that's
Is
that's
it Wes
the one.
Anderson that does a lot of the
Wes Anderson's
Yeah.
great at his stuff. Well, if you've ever watched Ardmore stuff, with like Wallace and Gromit. And
Love
and,
Wallace and Gromit.
And Shaun
Hello,
the Sheep.
Gromit.
That's British, like
Shaun
that.
the Sheep. Yeah.
British humor.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, Wallace and Gromit. But what was I going to say about that? That's the one with Gene Kelly, right? That is the voice of the
Yeah.
mailman
Yes.
telling the
Yeah,
story.
he does. He's the mailman.
I
tells the
love that
story.
one.
Gene Kelly was on. Oh.
Yeah,
And then wasn't Santa played by who is it? What is his name?
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney. Yes.
Mickey Rooney. Yeah,
Yep.
We didn't
he did
notice
that,
that.
and
until-
he did that in a couple of their ones that Bank and Rast did.
Yeah.
He was Santa.
Yeah.
He was their Santa go-to guy.
and then my number 3 is Disney's A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. I love the animation has not aged well. I'd say that.
I think they had some clever ideas though.
I love,
And it was-
it's one the opening and the middle are so strong for me. I
Yeah,
love the opening.
They really
scenes.
brought some things to that had not
Like,
been done
I love
for that movie.
They were doing that in the time when 3D was getting kind of big.
Yeah.
So you can see that is like happening.
We went and
Yeah.
watched it in 3D, and as a little child, that
was
traumatized me.
traumatizing.
I can totally see that.
I got so scared watching that movie, and looking back, I love it. It's not that scary, but as a child,
Yeah.
like
with 3D, no less.
Well,
You know.
what year? Okay, the movie came out
2009.
2009. I was born in 2004.
You're 5 years
Oh,
old.
yeah.
I was 5 years old, and it was scary. When the ghost of Christmas Present turns into a skeleton.
No, it was yeah.
And that was absolutely terrifying as a child to watch.
At 5 years old.
Yeah, 5 years old. It was just like, what?
Mother.
This is a Disney movie?
Yeah.
But the Ghost of Christmas Past also freaked me out because he was a face on a candle, and I did not like the animation was a bit freaky.
Yes.
Jacob Marley. Looking back at it, the scene where Jacob Marley shows up is so well done. I love
Yeah.
that scene.
Yeah, they really brought that impending doom feel
Well, and that's
into that.
that's the gist of the story. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the foreboding and the warning.
Yeah.
And
You know,
it's
it's
change your
done
ways.
so
You're in
for it.
well.
I find that very interesting that this one is on your list when you just said the ending was
Ending
disappointing
is
to
disappointing.
And that
it wasn't.
you, and
that
that
it
it
was just
scared the hell out of you as a
It
kid.
did.
Yeah.
It wasn't as disappointing. I just think it wasn't as great as the other Carol movies, like Christmas Carol.
right.
Yeah.
But I love all the ghosts. I love A Ghost of Christmas Past, the Christmas Present, and Future. I think the ghosts were done really well. The chase scene I felt like was a bit too long for me.
Yeah.
I think overall the movie was really good. I just think the ending could have been better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
There's
Well,
kind
if
of a
they
big
if they
gap.
brought the ending up to the same standard as the rest of it,
yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
It would be the best
It would have
version
been my
of
number
Christmas
one.
Carol
Yeah.
almost.
That's the only problem I have. with it.
There's not a lot, like there's a lot of versions, but there's like a big gap in between them. Like
But they
you
have
had
that-
84, 50, you know, they do
Right.
it every
Did
like
you guys ever watch the TV Mature one that they did? on
FX is a
Hulu
Christmas
or
Carol.
FX?
It was a mini series. It was three
It is
or
4
episodes.
episodes.
I tried watching it.
I
and
did not.
It is really dark, like really.
I can imagine
TV
if
mature,
FX did it, like
but
American
it's
Horror
just
Story type of stuff.
Yeah, it's just so long, and it shouldn't have been that long.
Kind of
just
like when they did
sounds
Tin Man for the
unnecessarily
Wizard of
long.
Oz. You know,
Because I was excited for it. I saw the trailer, and if you watch the trailer, it looks really cool. Like
Yeah.
it's like a Christmas Carol, but it's dark and edgy, but it was 3 episodes, each one being almost an hour. If you try to watch the whole thing, you're just gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, that just sounds unnecessarily
Yeah.
long to me.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the 1964 stop
Classic.
motion.
It's a great one.
That's on
really
the
great
is
one.
it 70th anniversary this
Yeah.
year?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
That means, you know what? Pretty soon we're going to be able to use Rudolph. that version of it.
What podcast, Willie?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Podcaster.
It'll just be of the red nose, and in the nose is going to have our logo.
That one was
fiber
a
in
childhood classic.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah.
love watching that
Yeah.
one as a kid.
Yukon Cornelius, man. He's my favorite.
Yeah. Looking for gold and silver.
Nothing.
That was a good song for our lives.
Yeah, I just watched that one the other day as well.
Nice.
I had to watch it.
That's a classic.
And then number 1, I feel like this is unsurprising, is Christmas Vacation.
Nice.
No, that's good.
Same thing, watched it. My dad loves it and
Right.
kind of just pushed down the family.
It does my heart well that all three of us so far have it on our top 5.
gonna-
But Ralph, we're getting to your top 5.
I'm going to have to force Jen to watch that tonight. She's not a big Chevy Chase fan.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite scene? Do you guys have
I
a
already
favorite
said mine
Christmas
was
vacation?
the part where he's in the department store.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
I love when he's daydreaming, night dreaming, about the pool.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Ralph, do you have a favorite?
Probably the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and then,
Yeah.
then the little girl comes out.
The one that makes me laugh uncontrollably every time. I don't understand why. It's when he's getting the ladder out and he's getting ready to get up on the house.
Oh,
and
and
he gets up on the
upside
ladder
down.
and he's standing there and all of a sudden he's like, just thinks something. He looks down and the ladder goes all the way down to the ground. And he's just standing there holding it, looking around like, no one saw that. Makes me laugh so hard every time. I do not know why. I think it's totally the physical comedy of Chevy Chase on that.
People don't
It
know
is.
it, but Russ was played by Johnny Galecki, who is
That's
in
right.
the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
That's right. Every vacation movie had different actors.
I had to
and
look up
actresses.
an image of him in the Big Bang Theory and hold it up to the TV
To make
as
sure
I
you
was
knew
watching.
who
I was
it
like,
was. Is that who that is?
Yeah.
that looks very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Bethany she did the voice of Betty Boop for
Yeah.
many years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
She's recently, she just finally got out of that.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Do they still do Betty Boop?
No, but the cartoons are still around. Or you can go to archive.org and find all the Betty Boop
I think
cartoons.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I think was the last time they
Yeah,
did
that was the
anything
last
original.
time Betty Boop. Yeah. Yeah.
It was Betty Boop.
Yep.
I still can't
Okay.
get over when they go to say grace and they do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
That's great. Save the neck for me, Clark.
Or the dogs?
He's yakking on a bone.
Yeah.
You got it up.
You got it.
Yeah.
And the look on the grandma's face, she's like, just horrified. Like she's going to throw up at any moment. He does that. Anyway.
You know, I thought a scene that was done so well is when all the family comes over. And the
Oh.
camera's shaking and moving around. Like, it really gives you the
anxiety.
Everything. Yeah. Anxiety
so
much
strong
happening.
there.
Yeah.
It's so great. It was a great scene.
The huge, beastly, bulging man. These plates are from Kansas. I don't know. All right. There.
All right,
Ralph, let's hear your
my
top five.
Number 5, Home Alone, and Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern make it with their comedy. The booby
Stern's
traps,
physical
sets.
comedy in that
yeah,
is
I love the
excellent.
whole
John
thing.
Williams doing the music.
Yeah,
Yep.
and my favorite line: "I made my family disappear." It's like every kid's dream, every kid's dream.
I watched a Freeform recently did it, and they did a pop-up version. I don't know if you guys watch that. You remember the old pop-up things they do, little facts
Yeah.
and stuff? It just cracked me up because I don't know why. Towards the end, he's going to look out the window at his next door neighbor, the guy, and it just pops up and goes, "Well, he's alone again."
and
Everybody left him in the house.
Well,
again.
one of the trivia is
they were in the house, but in
the
different room.
color scheme inside the house. The color scheme inside the house was so gaudy, green and reds throughout the
It
whole
really
house.
is. That's
It
true.
is. The whole thing is
I
like
hadn't
that.
thought about
Yeah.
that.
A trivia that we did. Do you guys know the name of it's a fake movie that he's watching in
Oh, with the
I used
gangster
to
movie.
know that.
I
I
don't.
don't.
I don't. but I like
Keep the
noir
change,
gangster
you
movies like
filthy
that.
animal.
Yeah,
I'll look it up, but I believe it's called Angels with Filthy Souls.
I think you're right. I think
Yeah,
what
that's
it
right.
is.
That's
Love
right.
that. Love that. There's
That's
a little,
right.
So-
there's a
One
little
of
those
nugget
movies-
for everybody.
And of course, his family's gone, so
Angels
they would
with
have
Filthy-
never let him watch something like that.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
at
he's eating ice cream
and at the
and-
groceries.
Mom.
And of course, when he does the aftershave,
Yeah.
it's like,
Is this toothbrush recommended by dentists? Or
Dental Association.
Yeah, they're just looking at it.
yeah.
I appreciate. Somebody told me that the biggest thing you could not believe is when he walked home with those groceries and they got all those groceries for $19, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
that was the
Somebody
thing. I
did
couldn't
the-
believe that.
Yeah.
Somebody did the math, and they're like going through everything that he ordered, and it would have been like $70-something.
Yeah.
Yeah. 19.
he was rich. Did you see their house?
Yeah.
I think somewhere
Yeah,
I
what
read
did
that.
the dad do?
If you're flying the family to Paris for Christmas,
I think I
you're
read
doing okay.
somewhere. I don't know if it's like official, but the dad he worked on Wall Street, and the mom was like a fashion designer or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Which
That-
you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's just what I read. I don't know if it's actually been confirmed, but that was what some people
It's the backstory.
theorized.
Well, money, that would make sense. Which
Yeah.
you'd also argue the dad is the biggest villain in that whole movie.
Oh yeah.
I remember in the second movie when he gets his bill for the hotel and the price for that. I can't remember what
It
it
was like
was.
$900.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like,
I
and
love
you're losing his mind over that. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Well,
it.
I was laughing about it. I'm like, I wonder what that would be like today. You'd be like, you spent like $10,000?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you spent $1,000?
Yeah, the huge bill.
Taco Bell in New York is like $5.99, man.
Oh. All right, Ralph.
Number 4, It's a Wonderful Life. It's like classic Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed, Frank Capra, one of my favorite directors. And you know that when that movie was released, it was not popular at all.
No, it came out in the summer.
But it was not a popular movie at all. The story just didn't resonate with anybody, you know. And then years later, it just caught on to people. You know, the whole classic of overcoming adversity, you know, and making good, you know.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's got a good story. It's just, I think it came out at the wrong
It's
time.
not a happy movie, you know, until the very ending, you know. So that's the whole
It's
thing. So
another movie I never saw.
yeah,
I've never watched It's a Wonderful Life.
you're like
It's
Lana.
been a while. I've sat down and watched it, and it's a good movie. It's, it was in the 30s, right?
It was
Yeah.
I think 40s.
Was it 40s?
Yeah, it's one of the, it's
30s
in
or
that
40s?
same it's in that same era, you know, that you know.
Oh, it would have been it would have been because it was about the-
Miracle on 34th Street and all that. you know,
Yeah,
so
it was
amazing I
about
didn't
the
see it.
Depression.
Yeah.
So it would have been
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
So-
And Jimmy Stewart was fantastic.
Yeah.
Top of his game there.
Number 3, The Santa Claus. I love the idea that Santa falls off the roof and dies.
He gets like
Thanks, Tim.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And I love that that's his overlying worry the entire movie. But how do I stop from falling off the roof? Because he doesn't want it to be the guy next.
Yeah, yeah, and
I
then,
say- You're
I think
telling me-
he gets Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He totally does.
yeah, and then,
Totally
and,
does.
and then Tim Allen's great.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
Tim-
is he, the whole metamorphosis of him turning into Santa. You know, and of course
One of the-
now it wouldn't fly with all the fat jokes and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know,
Right.
One of the funniest things I think I saw him doing, I don't know if he did an interview, and I don't remember where, but he was talking about how when he was doing the shooting, he had to be dressed up like Santa Claus, and there was a bunch of kids that were doing all the, like the elves, and there was a bunch of kids in the movie, and they were like, they had to go to him and be like, Tim, you got to behave when you're dressed like Santa. You can't swearing and doing all this
you
stuff.
can't be Tim Allen.
Yeah, these kids think
Yeah.
you're Santa.
Yeah, you have to play the part the entire time.
Yeah, well, you know,
Tim.
Yeah, that's another movie I've always wanted to try, the hot cocoa that she makes him.
Yeah.
The way she describes
know.
it, it's like, I want that.
And they're now on their website. They're selling that mug.
Oh, really?
You can
Yeah.
buy that
Yep.
mug, and it says
Yep.
that on it about what the recipe is. It says it on the mug.
yeah,
That's a depressing movie, though.
yeah,
Like towards the middle, it's just like rough.
yeah.
He has to leave his family, and
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
Losing his
he can't see his kid
visitation
anymore.
rights, like that's
Well,
it's, it's all talking
good.
about middle age.
Well, that's good. Yeah, exactly.
Going
But,
through that.
You know, that's what storytelling is all about,
Oh,
right? It's
yeah.
like conflict and resolve, right? So the conflict takes you to a level, and then the resolve, of course, he gets he gets what he needs in the end.
I just remember watching
But
this
his
kid
ex-
and thinking it's this fun Santa movie, and then I get older and I'm watching, I'm like,
You go,
this is rough.
This is not
Yeah,
a fun
the ex
Santa
thinks
movie.
he's
It's like-
crazy.
Yeah.
It has the kids taken away from him, or
it goes
something
right
like
along with
Charlie.
it. It goes right along with It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it was a wonderful life until Santa died.
But
Now he's a Force ghost.
Yeah.
here's an adjacent trivia to that. You guys ever watch that trivia game show, The Floor, with Rob Lowe?
Yeah.
It's very fun and a lot interesting to watch because everybody has their own top. It's weird. But one of the people on there competing got on stage, and I'm like, it looks awful familiar. And then he started talking about how he'd been an actor. It was Charlie. The actor who played Charlie was one of the participants on the show.
He played
He's
him
not in
in the
Hollywood
second one
anymore.
too, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
But not in the other
Nope.
movie. It was just the first and second one.
And I think in the series.
Did he
showed
come back
up in
for
the
the series? I haven't watched
The
series.
Disney Plus one that they did
Yeah.
to redo.
The Santa Clauses, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, he's not in Hollywood anymore, apparently.
What was was it the third one with Jack Frost?
I'm trying to remember
Yes,
how many
the
there
Escape
were.
Clause.
I cannot remember that movie at all for the sake of
And they've been playing the tar out of Santa Claus 3.
I
Every
can't
time I flip on the
remember
TV,
it.
it's always Martin Short as Jack Frost. He's always on there.
Yeah.
That's because somebody got the rights to that one.
Yeah, they did.
We got the rights to it. Let's play it a lot. Yeah. Okay, my number 2 is Christmas Chronicles. Kurt Russell. My favorite thing is the rock and roll scene in the jail.
That is so amazing.
It's so look. It's like I always wanted one of those. Look what I got you.
And Steven Van Zandt is in there.
Steven Van
the
Zandt.
band.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so phenomenal.
What was the baseball card that he was giving for like a Porsche or whatever? Do you?
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good trivia
Was
one.
it a Babe Ruth or was it?
I can't remember what that. I remember he was going to give a baseball card that was worth a lot of money, and he was going to like take his Porsche or whatever to drive.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to look this up.
Yeah, you gotta look that up real quick. But that is, I mean, Kurt Russell just
Mickey Mantle.
embodied
Yeah, Kurt Russell is
Santa Claus. He did
I
a
always tell
fantastic
people,
job in that movie.
If I had to have a couple of cast members in a movie I'm doing, one would be Kurt Russell,
Always.
and then the other one would be Chris Cooper.
Ooh.
Right?
Did you guys
Excellent.
watch Red One? Have you seen that one yet?
I have not.
No, I got to go
It
see
has
that.
J.K. Simmons as Santa.
I got to
Yeah.
see it. Did you guys see it?
So
Yeah,
what's
we
the
saw
card?
it. I thought it was okay.
It was
It's
sorry, go
on.
ahead.
It's on
Mickey
Prime.
Mantle?
It's on Prime as of today.
It was a Mickey Mantle. It was a mint condition
Mantle.
Mickey Mantle rookie card.
Rookie card. Yeah,
Ooh,
That's
that'd
what
be
it
worth
was.
some mega
Yeah.
money. It's on Prime as of today.
Yeah, it felt like a
Red
streaming movie, honestly.
Did it really?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and somebody had said that it had been set up to be, because when the streaming wars was really kicking off, and
Yeah, that
everybody
it was
doing
originally going to be that.
around
till-
it, like with the Christmas Chronicles and stuff
Yeah,
like that. That's
yeah.
when Red One got pitched. It was a fine movie, but
Yeah.
it was a
They
little
spent
long.
way too much money on the actors.
It's Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Chris
that's the
Evans.
whole thing. It depends on who's behind the budgeting.
Yeah.
You know,
They did
if
not.
it's-
They spent what, 200 million to make it, or 250 million?
that's nothing
I think it was
nowadays.
around
But they
200
only
million.
got back 50 million.
That's okay. That's nothing nowadays.
theaters,
You
they
know?
only
That doesn't
got
sound
back
like a good
that.
business model.
They'll
Yeah.
probably get it back with the streaming services.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's
Yeah.
going to happen. Which is why it's on streaming so quickly, probably.
Yeah, they get it back on there. They got to
Wow.
got to get the subscribers in.
But I had been wanting to
The
see
long
it.
form.
Maybe
Red
an
Wings to watch
unpopular
it.
opinion, but I'm tired of seeing The Rock on movies.
I've heard that.
I have argued that I don't think he's a good actor. I think he's just like a person that you have to put another actor up against.
He's
you
the
have,
new Michael Caine. He's in everything.
every movie you have to have either Kevin
Wait, no.
Hart.
Let me say that he's the new Michael Caine who can't act.
Oh, there
Yeah,
we go.
'cause I don't
That's the
think-
flip side of that.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, Ryan Reynolds, Chris Evans.
He's
now.
great when he's
Yeah.
near somebody who can act, but
Yeah.
he himself, I feel like, is
Well,
not very
it's like Jungle Cruise. You put him with Emily Blunt.
and yeah.
and he
And
becomes
that
something.
movie the energy of that movie never really raised up. And that's because I think, like you're saying, Kevin Hart, Ryan Reynolds, those are people who can bring that
Yeah.
energy
Yeah.
and make
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
for it.
The
And
Rock
he
just can't.
He just can't.
He
bleed
just
out.
showed
You know
up
who
into the Fast and Furious
John
series.
Cena.
Yeah, John Cena's a good
John
actor.
Cena. I mean, they both came from the WWE. John Cena can act.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
He's a little
That's because he
Peacemaker.
recognized a long time ago that stuff like WWE is all about acting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Which is funny
acting
because
and
The
throwing
Rock came
chairs.
from there and
Yeah.
he can't act.
Yeah, yeah.
He can
Or
act. He's
act
just
as well.
like most.
Well,
He's the
neither-
same thing in every movie.
Neither could
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, and he was in Rocky, or one of the Rocky movies. So anyway,
Yeah, but he played himself.
yeah, that's true.
That's right. Mr.
Well,
T
that
was in
still
there.
means he can't act, So yeah. So. And my number one, for obvious reasons, is A Christmas Story. Number one, my name is Ralph, and Karina and Cammy both call
Was
me.
that you in the movie?
It could be, and once again, I relate to what Bob says. I mean, it wasn't the '40s, but that childhood was very much like my childhood.
It was mine. Grew up in Michigan and Minnesota.
And actually, Karina and Cammy both call me Ralphie.
Ralph, they do.
They're
They
about
do.
the only ones I know in the world who can get away with calling me Ralphie. So,
Ralphie.
yeah.
For Christmas, we got to get him a Red Ryder BB gun.
Well, here's the
No,
thing.
he'll shoot his eye out. We can't have that.
Well, memorable lines. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. How about fudge?
Only I didn't say fudge.
And the bumpuses. The bumpuses with the dogs.
narrator?
Triple
'Cause that
dog
was a
dare you.
voice.
Triple dog area, the bumpuses. And I had a lamp. I had the leg lamp. I didn't have the full-size one, but my niece and nephew bought me the leg lamp. And then we used it in a short film that they shot at Valley Union High School, and they auctioned it off. They auctioned it off for $175.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
to raise money for the kids.
Here's
good.
Here's a downer. Hey, bring it in a holiday thing. I don't know if it's a downer, but it's interesting. Do you know?
And I used to go,
the guy who made
isn't it beautiful?
it's a major award. The guy who made A Christmas Story also made Porky's.
Yep. Yeah, I know. That's like really?
That's a jump, right?
Seriously?
That's a jump.
And what was the one about? Lifebuoy had a special piquant.
Yeah, special piquant.
You get your mouth washed.
And Josh, I think the guy's last name was Shepard. I don't remember
Gene Shepard.
Was it Gene Shepard that was the narrator?
Yeah. And it's his story. It's really his story.
His story.
Yeah.
So now I have a couple of my my honorable mentions.
Right.
First is Lethal Weapon. Right. I know. No. Wait. Okay. What's the title song? Jingle Bell Rock, Bobby Darin, right?
Yeah.
It happens during the Christmas season. You got cops singing badly out of tune Christmas carols at the cop shop.
Yeah.
And they drive a car into the living room, and there's a Christmas tree there. So it's a Christmas tree.
That's how you rationalize it.
Well, by this
movie.
rationality, I'm going to throw in The Empire Strikes Back.
There you go.
It's on a snow planet at the first one.
Yes.
And
Hoth equals Christmas.
There you go.
They did a holiday special.
That's right.
We don't
they
talk
did.
about it.
Well, and then,
and
then finally, my other honorable mention, of course, is Die Hard, because and most people don't realize this. Die Hard appears on about 20 different top 10 or top 20 lists as far as Christmas movies.
Yeah, it just depends which way the debate
does.
Yes.
And in one of them, it shows up as number 2. So
another thing I love about the Star Wars Holiday Special, though, is they've embraced it now. If you go to Disneyland at Christmas time, they have all the Life Day.
yeah.
Which is not on December
there.
25th.
And Lucas, if he was dead, would be rolling over in his grave.
I heard in the new show Skeleton Crew that they just came out with, they reference the dance scene. Like the kids are watching, and I can't remember because it's been a while. But there's like a scene where they come out and they're dancing and they're watching. The kids are watching it. Like it looks straight out from the
first
holiday
episode
special.
of The Mandalorian. They're like, I got to get back for Life Day. And it's like, all right, we're doing it.
It's a thing. Life Day's
it's canon. It's canon. It's
Chewbacca
happening.
has a family.
It's happening.
You know, Bob, I just noticed that you look like Santa Claus over there.
Thank you very much. I think
That's right.
Our whole idea was we were going to have him dressed up like that. It would be
It's too bad we're not doing video today.
I have a hoodie that looks like Santa's top, with like his jacket, the belt, the whole thing. The belly I brought with me. That's
It'd be
mine.
such a tease to be like, yeah, Ralph's dressed like an elf right now.
That's right. And you'll never know it.
Those ears are real.
Just imagine what we're wearing here. You know, we got Ralph as an elf.
Those headphones look like ear
Jacob's
elves.
got a full Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That's right.
All right, so here's the debate.
Okay.
We've kind of hidden around it. We've been talking about it, and we started getting into it before we even came on the air, before we recorded. But Die Hard, many people do consider it a Christmas movie. Do you guys consider it a Christmas movie? Ralph, you obviously do.
Well, I got to, first of all, qualify what is a Christmas movie. Is it just about Christmas?
Well, I think that's the whole point of the argument.
But
That's the crux of
is
it.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles a Christmas movie?
Thanksgiving.
It's a Thanksgiving movie.
Because they're going home for
It's a
Thanksgiving.
holiday movie. But it's going home, right?
Yeah.
So you're going home for the holidays.
For Thanksgiving
For
holidays.
Thanksgiving, though. It wasn't Christmas.
But if it took place in Christmas, would it be considered a Christmas movie? Or is it just about the man's journey about trying to get home?
I think it's just the demands and having the holiday time off.
There's
to
also
get home.
no Thanksgiving movie, so they kind of had to.
Right.
They were like, that's a Thanksgiving movie.
What
We'll
about
give them
Thanksgiving?
There's the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. That's a fact.
Okay, well, I'm just going to get through this list. This is a list that was pulled up from, and this is off of a bunch of surveys, right? And okay, number one, it's a Christmas setting. The movie takes place on Christmas Eve at an office at a Christmas party that's invaded. Christmas music. The movie features a variety of Christmas classics: Let It Snow, Winter Wonderland, Christmas in Hollis. The score also incorporates jingle bells to create a seasonal feel. Christmas-themed characters, of course, Holly, his wife's name. Christmas-themed gifts. There are several gifts involved in the movie: a Rolex watch, snack cakes, a gun that's wrapped in a way that's similar to a gift. Snow falls at the end of the movie, which is considered a traditional Christmas movie ending. And the movie's plot is driven by Christmas, including McClane's attempt to repair his relationship with his wife.
If that's the case, then Dumb and Dumber is a Christmas movie because the guy's name is Lloyd Christmas.
I agree.
There we go.
Do you concur, Doctor? I concur.
Doctor. Okay, I see those points. I do.
Yeah,
all those
those are
things
good-
happen in
good
there,
points.
including the tape for. I'll even say this for the tape for the gun he taped to his back was holiday because of the holiday time for holiday tape, And he wrote on that one dead terrorist shirt, "Now I have a machine gun, ho, ho, ho."
So you agree it's Christmas movie?
I do not. With that being said, Ralph, I don't think it's a Christmas movie at all.
I think just
We're going to have to agree to disagree on
putting
this one.
it in the setting of Christmas does not make it a Christmas movie.
I agree.
I feel like it
What about all the other parts of it that have Christmas elements in it, though?
like just
The Christmas
that's more of
music
like
and the Christmas party.
the setting of it being in Christmas.
Yes.
Like if you take it out of Christmas, you do New Year's party or just a general party of, hey, this business is
Halloween
getting
or
off,
something.
Halloween party. I still feel like the movie would have just went the way it did. Christmas did not have an effect on the story.
To me, it's just like
Besides,
a setting.
it was just
like you're saying.
it was a setting. It just so happened to be during.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
but-
good movie to watch at Christmas, but
Yes.
it's not a Christmas movie. It is a movie that is.
But
the
when
fact
you
He's trying to repair the reparations with his wife for the relationship at Christmas. That's a very, very Christmassy theme. Right?
Yeah.
Well, again, to me, I think that's along the lines of planes, trains, and automobiles. He's got some time off. They're having a holiday party. When is anybody ever going to get together as a company? Usually around the holidays. So they're having a party, and he happens to come there and see her. I think it's just.
I think it was more
That's-
fitting
to
for the
bring that
story to have
together.
it during Christmas for that.
Yeah.
Because we watched the movie yesterday specifically before, got to prepare for this one.
They were
Hey,
getting
wait,
ready.
that's cheating. That's cheating.
They were
But
getting ready.
when there's a lot of things at the movie, and it was really well written in the fact that there's things that happen early on in the movie that come back later in the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
That he takes off his shoes, and it's because a guy in the airport told him, "Hey, take off your shoes."
Fist
make
with your toes
fist with
in
your
the
toes.
carpet, and it'll
Yeah.
help you after the flight.
Yeah.
Right.
So then he doesn't have shoes on when everything's happening.
It was more of like that. I think they wanted to do this whole thing where his wife and him weren't together because, remember, she doesn't have his last name, and that's why the terrorists didn't know who he was for the
Right.
longest time.
Right.
I think it was just so happens like Christmas, holidays, similar to what Bob said, it just made sense. But it doesn't
Yeah.
mean it was a Christmas oh,
Yeah.
this is about Christmas. It was it just makes sense to do it for Christmas.
Christmas doesn't affect the plot in really any way.
Well, then
No.
that's like saying Christmas doesn't affect the plot of It's a Wonderful Life.
No, it technically doesn't. And the same
It came
thing.
out in
And
the
yet,
summer,
and yet that's rated
That's true.
overwhelmingly as the number one Christmas movie of
You
all
could
time.
make an argument about that.
It
It
yeah,
just
but doesn't
happens
that
to
movie
be at
also?
Christmas time.
It doesn't just take place around Christmas. It's just the end of A Wonderful Life takes
Yeah.
place around Christmas.
Yeah.
The whole movie takes place
I'm
over.
speaking on a
just-
movie
over a
I've
lifetime.
never seen.
Yeah.
Well, little shop around the corner. It just
Yeah.
happens at Christmas time, but it's not about Christmas. But it's rated as one of the top Christmas movies.
So are we going to talk about how Die Hard came out during the summer?
Yeah.
It was not like a Christmas movie. It was
Right,
like, oh,
a
it's coming out in
blockbuster
December.
movie in the
That's
summer.
because it would have been competing against real Christmas movies.
Exactly. Oh, does that count as something? You said real Christmas movie.
Wait a minute.
Hey, don't twist my words.
Well, I know, like First Blood. I mentioned this. First Blood. Some people will argue that it's a Christmas movie because in the background, like at the police station, you see holiday decorations. There is no mention anywhere in that movie of it being Christmas.
No,
Are we counting Batman Returns as a Christmas movie?
I hope not.
It takes place during Christmas.
Yeah.
That is
is
also
true.
another one.
And
that is very true.
they do Christmas music,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
every decorated for
Okay.
Christmas. But is it a Christmas movie?
Yeah, but it's not on people's lips as far as being considered a Christmas movie.
I'd
like
say
Die Hard
Batman
is.
Returns is more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard is.
I don't know. That is a good one because Batman movie is a Batman movie, right?
Yeah.
You know?
during Christmas.
Yeah,
well,
well,
I
and
guess
then-
is
And
the
in Die Hard,
but that
nobody
was-
knew who John McClane was in Die Hard, right?
But again, those Batman movie released in the summer because it was supposed to be a blockbuster movie, summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
Was not released at Christmas
And
time.
the other thing that I had said is the other Die Hard movies that came out afterwards just dropped the Christmas thing completely.
totally.
It
Yeah.
was just Die Hard.
Yeah.
Die Harder, Die Hard 3, they were all
Another-
completely
Why aren't you dying yet? I think it was one of them.
Hasn't this movie series already died?
Well, was it Live Free or Die Hard?
Yeah.
The one where he meets his estranged son in Russia, I think is where they were, or
Yeah.
some other country.
I
Nothing
watched
to do
the
with
first one.
holidays.
I didn't care for the rest.
I was like, the first one's good because he's just a regular cop.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a little
Yeah.
bit more, but he just gets in that weird situation and
Yeah.
he has to survive. The rest of them, it's like, oh, he's like the
He
cop.
becomes more and more of a superhero,
Right.
an anti-hero.
It's less interesting.
Well, that's where 3, I think, Die Hard with a Vengeance really becomes like, okay.
So Die
if
Hard
we
with a
didn't, if we
Vengeance
didn't
and
jump the
Jaws
shark
the
before we
Revenge.
did this movie.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, no. Die Hard is a good movie.
I
It's a
think-
really
yes.
good. It's one of the best action movies.
Yeah.
I think something to bring up during Die Hard because we watched it. Throughout the movie, they mention Christmas like every 30 minutes to kind of remind you. That's the other thing.
Or to show
what does
something
that
Christmas
tell you then?
related.
You know,
Like, but it's like, it's like,
Or
hey,
music.
by the way, because we know you forgot,
This is a Christmas
Yeah.
movie.
it is taking place during this time.
No,
So
no, they're
that's
saying
why this
if,
is doing
if
this.
they keep mentioning Christmas, that means they're saying, don't forget, this is a Christmas movie.
Or like, why is he in this skyscraper right now? Run with no shoes. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they got to
It's
remind you every
Christmas
30
time.
minutes, hey, this was a holiday party.
And well, no, it says Christmas party. They're
a Christmas
having a
party.
Christmas
It does.
party,
Yeah.
right? It's if it's a Christmas party, guess what? It's happening at Christmas. You know,
I will
so-
tell you this. I told you I had definitive proof that it is not a Christmas
All right,
movie.
let's hear it, Bob.
And because, I have devices at home and my FBI
it's
agent was
devices.
my FBI agent was listening to me and we were talking about this, so he let me see it yesterday. There's a clip in a roast for Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And he gets his chance to rebut everybody. And the very last thing he says at the mic, very adamantly and very angrily, goes, by the way, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
He didn't write it. He didn't write it. He didn't direct it. He didn't put the money
I
behind
didn't know
it.
it was based on a novel. I was watching the movie at
Yeah.
the very beginning. It was like based on a novel,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that must be
It
interesting.
was actually based on A Christmas Carol. Did you not know that?
He's actually a representation of Scrooge.
That's right.
That's right, yeah.
And the terrorists are the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future.
Alan Rickman was Scrooge, and Scrooge got his in the end there. But it's funny because a lot of people will argue vehemently just as much that is a Christmas movie. And it's time to celebrate the holidays. Everybody, we hope you have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thanks to our guests, Josh Encinas and Jacob Encinas. Thanks, guys, for
Thanks,
coming
guys.
out
Thank
today.
you for coming on. Merry Christmas, everybody.
And Ralph,
Christmas.
happy holidays, man.
You too, Bob.
Appreciate you.
And remember, Die Hard, greatest Christmas movie ever.
It is a great movie.
And thanks for listening to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, everybody. Take care.